When I was a boy back in 2015, I was captivated by Netflix's Daredevil. So much so that at this point, I've seen the whole series over a dozen times. Since then, I've read Zdarsky, Bendis, Miller, you name it. And all throughout it, I was inspired every step of the way. So much so that in this video, we're going over how you can train to be just like Daredevil. From acrobatics and gymnastics to boxing and Muay Thai and even stick work. So stick around until the end of the explanation for your follow along routine. Before he was the devil of Hell's Kitchen, Matt Murdock was still Daredevil. In Frank Miller's run, we see a young Matt Murdock stealing a police baton and later training with stick on P-bars. He got this name due to his gymnastics, acrobatics, and parkour. Now, why, if you're a crime fighter, would you want to train just body weight? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, does it? After all, we all know that weights are what gets you strong. Except that's not always the case. You see, gymnastics take one of the core principles of lifting to 11, and that's time under tension and range of motion. When a muscle is fully extended, we get the maximum hypertrophy benefits and strength benefits that a muscle can gain. However, you take that stretch a step further to hyperextension, and you hold that. Now we're working the tendons, which receive about an eighth of the amount of blood flow that muscles do, and are just significantly harder to train since they only come into play after a full stretch of the muscle is achieved. By strengthening our tendons, we not only reduce injury, but are able to produce more force faster. That's why you see Olympic gymnasts perform incredible powerlifting feats, but not the other way around. It's all in the tendons. Now, aside from just looking cool, gymnastics also play a huge role in athletic capability. I mean, one of my favorite fighters back in early 2000s UFC was GSP, who, despite being primarily a striker, incorporated gymnastics and grappling into his fighting in order to become a champion. Not only was it incredibly effective, but he scored some significant style points and fan service while at it. Even today, long past retirement and also post-surgery, he's still using gymnastics like front levers, back levers, and planche in order to strengthen his body. Even though the style of training is fantastic, it's not easily accessible for everyone. I mean, some people start out too weak to do push-ups, let alone a full planche. The benefit of gymnastics is it's more of a principle than a modality that's set in stone. So we can do things like short arm pushdowns and Zateni press to prepare the body for things like planche and front levers. Sure, it's not one-to-one, but it is a solid accessory just like you would find in powerlifting or strongman. Gymnastics wouldn't be what we think of as gymnastics if there wasn't a high degree of kinesthesia and proprioception involved. This is where more acrobatic routines come into play. Being able to move your body throughout space with inversions and a lot of velocity. This perfectly encapsulates Daredevil since he's blind. You need a high degree of kinesthesia and proprioception to function when your sight is taken away. By training how to move your body in space and training how to sense space around your body, you're in turn building up a higher movement IQ that's applicable to any athletic endeavor. Gymnastic holds and acrobatics aren't mutually exclusive either. I mean, look at any high-level P-bar, ring, or pommel horse routine, and you're going to see an exceptional amount of movement in conjunction with these flow and crash holds. And if you haven't picked up on it already, that's exactly how fighting works. It's not on all the time, and especially in grappling, you're going to be stuck doing nothing but holding position for a while, coupled with high intensity. And just like we went over with the Spider-Man video, this type of stuff can be done just about anywhere, making it super applicable to anyone, anytime. All you need really is a set of gymnastic rings to get yourself started. But of course, Matt's skills aren't limited to the gym. If we want to examine Daredevil's fighting style, we need to look first at his father. Battlin' Jack was a okay boxer, but he never quit. And that's going to be key to fighting like Daredevil. We want hard hits and even better head movement. Defense is mandatory if you're trying to fight in this game hell let loose style. After all, there's still a boxer's chance. Even an untrained person could knock out prime Mike Tyson if the right hit lands. By knowing distance, expert head movement, and positioning, you're going to mitigate the chances of getting knocked out as long as you're throwing bombs all along the way. Now think back to Daredevil's enhanced kinesthesia and proprioception. It makes sense that he'd be maneuvering around his opponents, framing distance so that he doesn't have to see. It's not a liability if you know where your opponent is through constant parrying and framing. Then for offense, we can also look at his Muay Thai, Letway, Muay Boran, whatever you want to call it, prowess. It's kind of a blend of the three styles, since the hand wraps are Muay Boran, the leg kicks are Muay Thai, and he occasionally headbutts, it doesn't matter. Point is, if you want to fight like Daredevil, you got to be throwing powerhouse leg kicks, elbows, knees, and clinch. And once again, this all makes sense for the character. After all, if you can't see, close distance, get in a clinch, throw your elbows, throw your knees, and don't give them space to outpace you. This is also where we see the often criticized overhands that Matt will throw in what's supposed to be boxing scenes. People look at that, see his dad as a boxer, go, that's bad boxing, when in reality, it's one-to-one Muay Thai. Even though most of Daredevil's kicks come from Muay Thai and Letway, if you look at the comics, and especially in Season 2, you'll see a lot of Taekwondo and more tricking style kicks. Things like tornadoes and jump spin kicks become increasingly more common the more fantastical we make the character. And sure, these might not be one-to-one applicable in an actual combative scenario, but they look cool and they feel awesome and lead to an increased level of athleticism that will benefit you in real life scenarios. Being able to control your body through violence and force is applicable no matter what. All that being said, of course, Matt isn't only good with his hands and feet, but also has his clubs. Now, we've gone over extensively how rope flow works, and clubs are very similar, just a little more three-dimensional. Unlike the rope, which needs constant motion, the club can stay static and jab forward. And we see this used in martial arts like Kali and Silat, where there are flows, much like rope, in the form of weaves or sinawalis, but also in jabbing, as the sticks are a precursor to swords. In terms of workouts, these clubs, which Indian clubs are a direct descendant of, can be used as a warm-up, cool-down, or active recovery for shoulders, elbows, wrists, and even hips due to the dynamic nature of rotation. I love grabbing a set of either 1 pound or 3 pound, don't like the 2 pounders, and working my shoulders in between sets of overhead pressing or even mace or club work. Unlike the rope, the clubs also lend themselves well to staccato movements, so you can stop and jab in order to break up the flow. Both sides of the coin are important, but if you want to apply the principles of every part of your routine to your sport, try to integrate those flows and crashes as often as possible. Aside from the cool factor and combative application, stick flows like Indian clubs are also just super good for your wrists, elbows, and shoulders to an extent that we will be going over in a future video. But for now, just try working on your weaves and sinawalis and see where that takes you. So there you have it. Everything you need to know to get started working out just like the Man Without Fear. And as promised, if you click the link in the description, you're going to find a full multi-week routine that'll get you to where you want to be. I've spent a lot of time writing and rewriting this one, and I think I've finally found the perfect balance of brutality, strength, focus, movement training, and of course, combatives and flow. If you like this content, be sure to tune in next week. We're going to be going over training philosophy, and then we also cover tool highlights, body part specific focus, and of course, superhero training. So until then, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, click the notification bell, and let me know your thoughts on the new series, because I'm not liking it too much. See you around.
Okay, read, grab, drink.